24th of February, that is 2 days ago, NCERT released their Standard 8 Social Science book. Standard 8 Social Science book had this chapter called the role of judiciary in our society. The way to kill corruption, saying that, listen, eradicate the word corruption from our dictionary. Na rahega word corruption, na corruption hoega. Is this a right way to go about it? Defaming judiciary is bad because ultimately that's the last frontier to guard our democracy, to guard our constitution. But the fact remains that keeping quiet, is that the solution? Or should Justice Suryakant be more focused on how does he correct corruption in the judiciary? A lot of politics is being played here. A lot of politics is being played here to undermine the judiciary. Because the moment judiciary starts taking decisions against the governance will start trying to fidget with the judiciary. So that too is happening. Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. A very interesting episode today. You see, my story starts on the 24th of February. 24th of February, that is 2 days ago, NCERT released their Standard 8 Social Science book. Standard 8 Social Science book had this chapter called the role of judiciary in our society. This particular chapter spoke about judicial corruption. This particular chapter spoke about backlog of cases. This particular chapter spoke about inadequate judges in our judicial system. Now, Kapil Sibal thought it was wrong, and Kapil Sibal took it and brought it to the notice of the Supreme Court of India. When Supreme Court of India and the Chief Justice of India saw it, he was furious. He was furious. In fact, he went on to say that this is defaming the institution. He went on to say that is on the 25th, he said, I will not allow anyone on earth to taint the integrity of the institution and defame the institution at any cost. I will not permit it. Whoever high it may be. Now, please give attention to this line. Whosoever high it may be, the law will take its course. And I know how to deal with it. So, I don't know what he meant by this particular sentence. Of course, I'm sure you can derive your own conclusion. As head of the institution, I have done my duty and I have taken cognizance. This seems to be a calculated move. I won't say much. So the judge, the Chief Justice, took this as a conspiracy against the Supreme Court. And mind you, he took this case, he initiated a suo motu case, asserting that the court won't be allowed to be defamed, like I told you. So he has taken up this case suo motu. Now, today, that is 26th, he went on to say that we would like to have a deeper probe. We need to find who is responsible and we will see who are there. Heads must roll. We will not close the case. So, Chief Justice Suryakant is livid. He is livid. He says, boss, I am going to go deep into it. I want to know who wrote this chapter, who created this chapter, who made this chapter, and heads have to roll, which means they have to be sacked. The NCERT is coordinating with the union and state education departments, are directed to ensure all copies of this book, hard copy or soft copy, whether held in retail outlets or schools, is removed from public access. Must be removed from all physical and digital platforms immediately. The compliance report must be filed and it will be the responsibility of the director NCERT to effectuate immediate seizures of all such books and sent to the premises of such schools and submit a compliance report. Any attempt to distribute this book, either physically or digitally, shall be taken as a willful breach of the order of this court. NCERT director is required to submit members' name of National Syllabi Board who wrote this offending chapter. The specific names and credentials shall be furnished. The original minutes of the meeting of the part wherein the offending chapters was deliberated and finalized shall be produced on the next date of hearing. So, long and short, Justice Suryakant was absolutely livid, like I told you. He said, boss, every piece of textbook that carried this particular chapter, digitally, physically, in the bookstore, in the school, wherever, from the bag of a schoolboy, you get it out. I want it completely out of this system. I want that to be destroyed. I don't want a trace of that particular chapter in this country, he said. There is no way, he said, I'm going to allow this. And he said, I want to know who wrote this chapter. I want to know what is his or her credentials and get all that in front of me, because I'm not going to close this case. I'm going to go deeper into this case. Okay, okay. Is he right? Of course he's right. He's Chief Justice. He's always right. But the point is, yeah, I mean, it's his responsibility to guard the legal justice system. There is no question about it. But let me ask you a question. You see, is the way to kill corruption saying that, listen, eradicate the word corruption from our dictionary? Na rahega word corruption, na corruption hoega. Is this a right way to go about it? You see, by removing this book, removing the textbook, are we saying that there is no judicial corruption? By removing this chapter, are we saying that there is no backlog in judiciary? By removing this chapter, are we saying, therefore, that there are adequate number of judges available? Is that what we are trying to say? Are we trying to say that by the entire problem of our judicial system is that one chapter in 8th standard NCERT book? That one chapter is the problem. You remove that one chapter, everything is sorted. Is that the way we are looking at it? My question is, why? Why do we kind of always kill the messenger? That's always there. You talk against the government, you will be raided next day. You will be raided next day. All of us, whoever have spoken against the government, has suffered. So you will be raided next day. Say anything against a power and that's it for you. That's it for you. You will not get advertising, you will not get government support, you will not, nothing. Because you are the enemy. You are called anti-national because you went against and you thought that something was wrong, you aired it. So you are the villain. Not judiciary too. You see, I completely agree that, defaming judiciary is bad, because ultimately that's the last frontier to guard our democracy, to guard our constitution. But the fact remains that keeping quiet, is that the solution? Or should Justice Suryakant be more focused on how does he correct corruption in the judiciary? How does he ensure that there are no backlogs, or he clears more and more backlogs? How do you ensure that there are more judges and most of the judges attend courts instead of being in vacation? How does he ensure that? Wouldn't that be something that you will be looking forward from him? Other than just saying, okay, this is the problem. This is the chapter which says that we are bad. Throw the chapter out. Ban the chapter out. Matter closed. Isn't that an ostrich mentality? Dig your head under the sand and say the world, there's nothing, everything is fair in the world. Isn't that the case? Point number 2 is, let me take you through some actual facts. According to latest report from the Times of India, what you see on your screen are the number of complaints received against judges. 2016, 729, 2019, 1037, 2021, 1012, 2025, 1102. These are the complaints received against judges. What are the actions taken? So if somebody says that, boss, judicially, there is no who's going to judge the judge. When somebody asks that, there is no answer to that. Let me give you another example. You remember that this visual that you're seeing on the screen? Money. The fact remains that Justice Yashwant Verma is still a judge. He's still a High Court judge. He's practicing. So what exactly has happened? Where did this money come from? How did this money come there? A lot of judges found this weird, found him guilty. A lot of judges felt that this money was definitely ill-gotten. A lot of judges said that, but what happened? Was he impeached? Is he impeached? Is he punished? Is any action taken against him? The same Kapil Sibal is defending him, which is fine, which is the judge's right, and it is also Mr. Kapil Sibal's right as an advocate to defend whoever. I'm not questioning that, but the point is, it is not the judge who is being called in the court and being fired at. It is the person who possibly, if one reports, that reporter will be called and fired and put behind bars. I said, report kyun kiya? You are spoiling the name of the institution. That's the question now being asked. The judge, theek hai. That judge, nothing happened. You see, I'll also tell you one more thing. This concept of impeachment. Technically speaking, there is no judge who has been punished. Let's talk about the concept of impeachment. V. Ramaswamy J. was the first judge against whom impeachment proceedings were initiated in 1993. In 1993, the motion was brought up in Lok Sabha and failed to secure the required two-third majority. So he was not impeached. Soumitra Sen of Calcutta High Court resigned in 2011 after the Rajya Sabha passed an impeachment motion against him. He was the first judge to have been impeached in the upper house for misconduct. He resigned and went off. Nothing happened against him. No judiciary, no case, no jail, nothing. He went off. Okay. In fact, Justice Sen, let me tell you this, Justice Sen was found guilty of misappropriating 33.23 lakhs in 2011 under his custody as a court-appointed receiver in the capacity as a lawyer and misrepresenting facts about Calcutta court in a 1983 case. The point is, what happens to a judge? Why are judges not punished? Are we saying that there is no corruption in the court? I am sorry, please don't arrest me or please don't file defamation against me. But I am asking you a sincere question. Are we saying that there is no corruption in the court? And if there is corruption, then shouldn't we be talking about it? You see, when a person comes to know that he is gaining weight, that is when he starts dieting. If the person doesn't come to know and the solution is don't tell him he is gaining weight, he will go on gaining weight and one day he will die of heart attack. One day he'll die of heart attack. So to respect that person's dignity and image and false image and false pride and all, if you never tell him that your weight is increasing and you're becoming fat now, just because you will hurt his ego or whatever, and he dies out of heart attack, I mean, what are we saying? What are we saying? The fact remains that there is corruption. Why can't we talk about it? Why shouldn't the children be taught about it? Let them know, because that's what they have to face tomorrow. Isn't education a platform where you train the children to face the world tomorrow? And they have to face a corrupt judiciary unless and until Chief Justice Suryakant corrects it. Then it's a different issue. But if he can't correct it, then that child has to face the judiciary which is corrupt. Might as well he know that the judiciary is corrupt. Might as well he knows that his cases will come after 20 years. Might as well he know that there are no judges, and whatever judges, they have vacations and Diwali vacations and summer vacations and winter vacations and all that. The judges have more vacation possibly than the 10th grader. They let him know that. Isn't that important? So that's the point. While I also appreciate the fact that, listen, a lot of politics is being played here. A lot of politics is being played here to undermine the judiciary. Because the moment judiciary starts taking decisions against the governance will start trying to fidget with the judiciary. So that too is happening. NJAC is something that the government wants to push, which I don't think is right, because that the judiciary will lose its autonomy. We've been speaking about it. There are many editorials that I have done. Please go through them. That too is fact. That is why I said this case has two sides. We need to know both the sides. So it is a fact that, like any other institution, the government is trying to take over this institution. The government is trying to oppress this institution. The government is trying to ensure that this institution also listens to the government. This is my point of view. The government is trying that, the way they are doing it to other institutions like the Central Bureau of Investigation or Enforcement Directorate or Income Tax or whatever. The government wants even the judiciary to listen to them, which will be possibly the end of our democracy. That too is a fact. So I'm not completely saying that what Chief Justice Suryakant is saying is wrong, but the fact remains that this is not the answer. The answer is not kill the messenger, as always. Judiciary, we can't be acting exactly like the government. If there is corruption, fine. What are we going to do about it? That's what I would expect from my Chief Justice. This is the point. You take your call. You decide. I'm not saying one way or another. I'm just saying I put up my point of view. You decide. You write down your point of view. Write down your opinion. Write down your opinion, and then maybe we will have another editorial on this, because this is a very, very important subject. Till I see you next time. That's tomorrow at 10. Namaskar.